Hello children, welcome back to online classes of St. Joseph's Academy. This video is for class 1 students. In this video we are going to study English Mulberry. Our topic for today's class is Chapter 6. The name of the chapter is The Boy and the Toffees. This is part 1 of this chapter. I am your English teacher Sneha, and I am going to read the chapter for you. I will explain the story and give you the correct pronunciation of the difficult words. So let us start today's class. Let us start the chapter now. Chapter 6, The Boy and the Toffees. Here is a picture story. Discuss what happens in it with your class. So children, before I read the chapter for you, here a picture story has been given for you. You can see the 3 pictures. In the first picture, a mother and his son are standing, and the mother is holding the jar of chocolates with her. In the second picture, the boy is holding the jar, and in the third picture, he is holding his stomach and the jar is empty. So what happens in this story? Let us read the story, The Boy and the Toffees, and understand. Let us read about a boy called Arnav who learns a valuable lesson. Children, this story is about a boy. His name is Arnav. Let us read what happens in the story that he learns a valuable lesson. One day, mother puts some toffees in a jar to give away at Arnav's birthday party. She does not tell anyone about it. Arnav hides behind the door. He sees his mother hiding the jar of toffees. Arnav knows that his mother goes out to buy groceries every Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Arnav eagerly waits for his mother to leave. Later in the day, when mother leaves the house, Arnav gets a chance to take some yummy toffees. So children, this story is about a boy Arnav. One day, his mother put some toffees in a jar to give away at Arnav's birthday party. So, in a few days, Arnav's birthday is going to come. So, Arnav's mother put some toffees in a jar so that she could give away it on Arnav's birthday to his friends. So, children, the mother put some toffees in a jar, but she does not tell anyone about it. I hope your mother also might be doing like that. Whenever some chocolates, biscuits, sweets come at your home, or whenever you buy something, some sweets, toffees, chocolates, then your mother keeps it away from you. She does not tell you where she keeps it. She hides it from you, because what happens when you see chocolates, toffees and sweets, then you eat it together, all together. What do you think? You think that I should eat all these toffees all together. So this was the same reason that Arnav's mother does not tell anyone about the jar of the toffees. Arnav hides behind the door. He sees his mother hiding the jar of toffees. Children, you can see in the picture, the mother is putting the jar in the cupboard and Arnav is hiding behind the door. He sees his mother hiding the jar of toffees. He comes to know where his mother has kept the jar. Arnav knows that his mother goes out to buy groceries every Wednesday. Children, all of us have a routine. I hope all of your parents might be having a routine that they might have decided that they will be doing the groceries, purchasing and all on a particular day. So, in the same way, Arnav's mother goes out to buy groceries every Wednesday. And Arnav remembers that today is Wednesday. So now what? Now an idea comes to Arnav's mind. He becomes really excited and happy. He eagerly waits for his mother to leave. What do you mean by eagerly? The meaning of eagerly is that you impatiently wait for something. Why does Arnav eagerly waits for his mother to leave? Because he wanted to eat the toffees. He was anxious that soon his mother would go out of the house to buy groceries and he will eat all the toffees all together. Later in the day, when mother leaves the house, Arnav gets a chance to take some yummy toffees. So, when his mother steps out of the house, she leaves the house, Arnav gets a chance to take some yummy toffees. Because now there is no one to stop him from taking the toffees. He drags a stool to the cupboard where his mother has kept the jar. Arnav is too short to reach the shelf. He stands on the stool and takes the jar slowly. So now, when Arnav's mother leaves the house, what does Arnav do? He drags a stool to the cupboard where his mother has kept the jar. He holds the stool and because it is very heavy, he cannot lift it up, so he drags it. And he reaches the cupboard where his mother has kept the jar. But what? Arnav is too short to reach the shelf. So what does he do? He stands on the stool and takes the jar out of the cupboard. He puts his hand into the jar and greedily takes as many toffees as his hand can hold. But when he tries to pull his hand out, it gets stuck. The mouth of the jar is too small for his hand. So what happened? Arnav drags the stool, stands on it and takes out the jar of toffees. He puts his hand into the jar and he wanted as many toffees as he could take out. So he puts his hand into the jar and greedily takes as many toffees as his hand can hold. He does not think that I should take out 1 toffee, 2 toffee. He thinks as many toffees as his hand can hold, he wanted to take out. But what happens? When he tries to pull his hand out of the jar, it gets stuck. Why does it happen? When Arnav puts his hand into the jar, he could easily put his hand. But now when he tries to pull his hand out, he cannot take his hand out. The mouth of the jar is too small for his hand. Children, do you understand what happened? He takes out many toffees and the size of his hand becomes big because he was holding many toffees in his hand. So his hand gets stuck and he cannot take his hand out of the jar. Arnav does not want to lose any toffees. No matter how hard he tries, he is unable to take out his hand. He begins to cry. When Arnav wants to take his hand out of the jar, no matter how hard he tries, he is unable to take out his hand. He does not want to lose any toffees either. And he wants to take his hand out also. But he could do nothing now. So he begins to cry. Just then, his big brother Rohit sees Arnav crying. Gently, Rohit places a hand on Arnav's shoulder and says, "Hold only half of the toffees and you will easily get your hand out. Then you may have some more toffees some other time." So Arnav was crying. Just then, his big brother Rohit comes and he sees Arnav crying. He asks Rohit to take only half of the toffees out of the jar. He tells him, hold only half of the toffees and Arnav should leave the rest of the toffees. Then only he can take his hand easily out of the jar. Then Rohit says that you may have some more toffees some other time. Arnav smiles at Rohit. He stops crying. Wiping his nose with the other hand, Arnav lets some of the toffees go. He is now able to take his hand out smoothly. So when Rohit tells him to leave half of the toffees, Arnav smiles at Rohit. He stops crying and he understands that he was being greedy. So he took so many toffees and this was the reason that he could not take his hand out of the jar. So Arnav understands it. He listens to Rohit and he lets some of the toffees go. He takes only some of the toffees. And now he is able to take his hand out of the jar smoothly. So children, do you understand? In this story, we have come to know that none of us should be greedy. We should not be greedy so that we may not get into trouble. With this, we have come to the end of the story and end of this video also. Children, I hope you have understood the story well. Your homework is read the chapter, read the difficult words again and again so as to improve your pronunciation. We'll be meeting very soon with the next video, and in that video we will be discussing the exercises of the book and the copy. Thank you for watching.